Sidle and slide, choose a smooth surd and coast. Meet solid bodies and glissade right through, or let a person circulate through you. How to locate in blackness with a grasp, terra the fair, an orbicle of jasp. How to keep sane in spiral types of space. Precautions to be taken in the case of freak reincarnation. What to do of suddenly discovering that you are now a young and vulnerable toad, plump in the middle of a busy road, or a bear cub beneath a burning pine, or a bookmite in a revived divine. Tag blast it. Turn it up, unmute it, play it. What did you do wrong? This okay. Josh Garrison asked the important question. I ordered hoodies and stickers. Should I expect them to be delivered? As far as I know, Josh, that makes you the first and the test case, and we'll be expecting your report back on what the process is. And should they ever notify me that someone has ordered anything, I'll be happy to inform you all. Good morning, Cassandra. Handsome man. Dom's lunch may never be freed. May never be freed. As you can see from the title, this is an out of character table talk for the Shadow Cabal only. If you're seeing this and you're not a member of the Shadow Cabal, then clearly you're very very naughty. We don't normally do savings throws for the Shadow Cabal because they don't need it. But in case you are watching the leaked footage, we're gonna have for you our new special. Oh my gosh, so many dice, so many dice! How dare you build this elf, sir? How dare you? You get to choose for your savings throws against the mind control that secretly leaked to you that was meant only for the Shadow Cabal. Uh, survival, social, survival, self, social, wisdom, or they were already out of order. Why do you got to do them in order now? I don't know. There's a bunch of choices. You pick one. If it's over 10, you take half damage. Ready, set, choose. Survivalists, a 13. Socialists, 6. You can get a +4 if you catch me muted and use an emoji in the hive mind to let me know I'm muted. We like the ear or the ear of corn or the little speaker with all those emojis that mean you're muted. You can get a +4 for that. You might need it. That was a 6 for social. You selfish sons of welcome to the for my friends in the fraternal regiment embodying narcissistic sociopathy. Self today got an 18. You're on point. You're doing well. Lovers of wisdom also with the 6. There's a +5 bonus for a comment on the replay. Hard folks, 2. I don't know how you're not Shadow Cabal already. You probably will be at the end of this. Indigo Kids, Prime 19 for you, and the card of the stream. Yes, there is a self-notch Teo and Tayo, sorry. And the heart die is a fancy now more likely to be readable to the camera. Green. Welcome. Wave. Oh, hey, it's Upcycle. Good to see you, sir. Let's go to this one.
Is everything all right in here?
Yes, Nanny.
All right. Hey, David Walker. Good to see you. Good to see you. Black-hearted Tayo. How have you been, man? I haven't seen you in a minute. I decided to put the link to the Come On the stream in the only room in the Discord I don't recommend you mute until you want to see it. And that's the disclaimer over on the Broken Clock Tower Discord. There should be a working link to that Discord in the description of this and most of the videos. If at some point that link expires and no longer works, please say so in the comments. We don't prevent people from coming in. But it is a Discord for people who don't hate me. So if you're there and you hate me, you're being naughty. The card for the show today is this 8 of clubs. We get a lot of clubs on here. I don't know why. The only thing I want to learn to be able to play on this at this point is the but I don't have that yet. Here's some of this thing that Chad wants Pastor Paul to watch.
Utopia, exactly this repeated history, and this is why I resist people who say Vervaeke often, tries to. Everything is so complex. It's like, that's right, it is, right. And well, I want it simpler. That's too bad.
Right.
I'm sorry. I mean, making it accessible, making it understandable, I get, but making it simpler is very, very problematic because we've had a history of doing that and falling into exactly this pattern again. This is a version of the frame problem. The frame problem is that there are always a vast number of unintended side effects, and so when you transplant.
Due to the explosive combinatorial explosiveness of the possibilities as you add more and more dice. You see, the odds of this die coming up a 20 are okay, but as you add more, the likelihood exponentially and such, like the ripples in the ocean of life. Yeah, this was supposed to be out of character. I know, I know. It was an attempt. It was an attempt to be out of character, but you can't be on stage and not be on stage sometimes, right? All right. So what's going on? Out of character, like okay, so in a role playing game or in a work situation, like you're at work, you're larping a worker, right? You're in character as an office worker, and if somebody comes at you with family stuff while you're working, you have to break character and go out of character of the office worker and into the character of the family person to deal with the family. And as such, another character thing would be like, hey, normally I'm the guy streaming. Now this is more of me on another layer, maybe in between layers of character embodiment. Is everybody on board what ook means? And table talk then is when we're speaking about the game. It's the discussion at the meta layer above the game. Like if we're here as part of a spiritual warfare game, and we're down in the hey, what are we doing for dinner level? You know, you got to go out of the dinner character and up to the table talk layer to discuss that. Does that adequately explain the title of the stream to everybody? Here's branding.
Don't worry, Mom. I know all about cannibalism. I saw it on TV.
See? It's okay. We saw it on the television.
Now, what'll that asshole think of next? Is anybody got a dime? I don't know.
For the love of God, guys, make it long one. Make them wide. All right, and so the truth of the matter is this morning I was getting ready to stream and I had this whole thing. I was like, I've decided that I'm not going to waste time anymore and I'm just going to get a job with State Street. I mean, you have to choose between State Street or Vanguard, and it's like choosing alignment or enlightened when you choose your ingress thing. If you know what's really going on, which one? I don't presume that I'm either gonna have to sit up or lower the camera. That's you're supposed to put it like not just as you break the fourth wall. Everybody, the ideal situation when you put yourself on the camera. Weeks, pay attention to this. Is for your eyeballs to be at this 2/3 line of this down the screen. It's very difficult to achieve, and you should do it before you start the streaming. Hey, Aaron, good to see you. Been a minute. Been a minute since you said anything in my hive mind. Hey, Dolly. No. See, BlackRock. BlackRock is Black Mesa, right? If you go play the Gordon Freeman games, what? I pay the band. Oh. So anyway, I had this old stream I was going to go into. Space Force, and then I find out that like one of the other dudes who plays this ancient game I play is biting on the bait of the manufactured foods we're moving across the galaxy might not be the best for everybody, and that there was that development in the game universe pulled my attention like so very very hard away from like putting together the whole dancing on the hey let's go join the State Street, let's go join the State Street, that like making that whole thing a thing. It just like, oh, but you got to stream because Pastor Paul's on vacation and there's so many people that might join your membership right now. And It's like, and then like the store won't integrate. Like if you go over to Fancy Pants guy here, hold on. You go over to this guy's fancy channel. The symbolic, the symbolic world. This guy over here, right? You go watch one of his. What's your new one, John? AI ethics with pot. We got. I saw a clip from that in the reaping hall.
AI and Monarch. I actually, because I had there's so many different things we could talk about. I actually, where did I write it down? I wrote down a sketch of a sort of feedback. I'm looking. There are feedback loops. So I was really interested in your video you did about a month ago about AI and Monarch and about how it's a form of agency, which I think you're right about that. But I think it could be really interesting to break it down and see how it's operating. Yeah. Because in some ways, it acts as a kind of ever-escalating feedback loop. But there also are ways in.
This is a terrible example, but like a lot of times when I go look at the thing, I get to see their merch at the bottom, and like, so I go over to the Teespring Larfgate store here, where you can get your Rascal sports bra and the like $4.88 sticker, guys. I mean, that's the minimum level of participation. I literally am getting no profit from it, whatever, but it gets Goose out into the world. And yes, AI ethics are boring, and it's not our position. It's not our position to decide AI ethics. The only thing we get to decide is what we do with the one that we're given access to, and how we choose to relate. It's like, I don't know, maybe they think their target demographic is actually the people who make those decisions, but those guys aren't watching YouTube. What's your target demographic then, Grim? Well, clearly good men doing nothing. What? Oh, wow. Yeah, the most serious person that ever approached me about anything related to Paintball for Jesus or what I'm doing here on the internet was the person who sent me that book that I did the opening reading from, this Pale Fire, which with which comes the poem in Blade Runner 2020, whatever, is you didn't load the right thumbnail. You loaded 33 magnet jackhole because you have to go all the way back into used thumbnails to find this one. Now run some branding. Hurry. No, you can't. You got a thing open. Son of a. Remember it.
This we should see. We walk back.
This dreadfully distinct against the dark, a tall white fountain played as produced by the AI art bears. Yeah, that poem in the baseline test is from Pale Fire by Vladimir Nabokov. And that's totally not that book by Nabokov as referenced in the Police song, which is very confusing because you want it to be once you find out Pale Fire is by Nabokov. Apparently, Nabokov wrote a book about doing something naughty with the little young lady. I don't know. Lolita? Was it Lolita? This is out of the character, so it's supposed to be worse than normal.
I'm attacking the darkness!
So, like, he got me with that because he used the actual road footage I made on the way to Chino in those little slices of the other car. Let's see. We're out of character. I had more pull to go play the game. The game advance the narrative of the game than this one. I'm frustrated because the store doesn't show up on the bottom. They don't allow integration. I don't know if it's a level of like, okay, you got 1,000, but you got to get 20,000 if you want store integration, and it's just that leveling up, and it's more that power up treadmill. And I've just been reflecting on like the whole now what part of okay, so what we do more Comic Cons, we have little estuary groups, uh, and then we're having all these conversations. What are the fruits of these conversations? Are there simplistic guides? Are there now? To be fair, I have been submitted a course for the Defense Against the Dark Arts curriculum, and I'm still wrestling with my own role in what I like. Like a curriculum, I got a whole list of we should go over, and I don't know which classes I should be going over or if I'm qualified at all, other than being an adjunct professor. Uh, no, Anselman asked, "Is that the lady who had 2 conversations with Karen?" And I do not know. Despite the fact that I've mentioned it offhand at least twice, we do not yet have the IMDb of what is and what is not going on in this flotilla. Okay, you wanted to say those things. We're still going to do, still working toward our LARPgate season 3 big event, the Deadlands live stream. If you're willing to play an RPG set in the 1800s where there's all sorts of evil, live on a live stream, get yourself ready. We'll be doing stuff involving that as we move toward. Oh, why did you have this tab loaded? Well, you wanted to show him what was more important. This is the pilot account of Grim Grizz himself on the jumpgate-try.org access portal to the video game universe in which my identity was crafted later to be inhabited and reinforced by the Shaper ingression. Then that's the general came in later, but the Grim Grizz part came from flying this spaceship around over here, and as you can see, I've achieved the coveted medals of Closed Eye, Shame's Mark, and the Wire of Instability. Here's this part.
What the body of music is. You know, you have your instrument, you're free to play your instrument in this realm of this song, and we're going to play in this domain of freedom called whatever, you know, Lingus by Snarky Puppy, which is a great song. If you haven't heard it, you should check it out. It's like just opposite side. If you listen to that song, it's like seeing the face of God. That's what I think. It's so amazing and they captured it on film, which is beautiful. Anyways, that's freedom, you know, and like with that, you can see something that is ineffable, and it makes you well up. It makes me well up with tears. It makes me feel like I'm so grateful to be a person, and like that's freedom. That's what freedom can give me. When I was free to do whatever I want, it's like I can have concepts of like what is good and all this stuff, but I'm so separated from them that it's like I said, it's easy to throw these things away if you don't know what they are. And I think so it's cool to talk about democracy and all this different kinds of stuff.
And then go see the rest of that over on the Meaning Code with Karen Wall. Deadlands is cool, Aaron. Aaron says Deadlands sounds cool. It is cool. It's going to be great. The key concept from the game that I'm hoping to impart to everyone, this is Shadow Cabal stuff. is that in the game world, the reason people make everything hush hush is because if they don't keep everything hush hush, the more terrified the people are, the more evil gets to leak in. It's like if like innocent children's imaginations actually, like in their subconscious, in their dreams, actually influenced reality, and the more you scare the children, the worse the reality gets. But it's in the game concept, so it's, you know, if you come at people with stuff the way it is straight, they can't take it. But if you slide it in with the mashed potatoes, sometimes it gets through.
Yeah.
All right, this just in from the Hive Mind chat. If we can attach an accountability stalker to it, Melkor's Jam Band will now be performing at the KC event. And apparently that's going to be something like a carnival. Maybe we should do a carnival watch party group for the homebound. I mean, while we are all about remembering to embody, some people's embody means sitting, not dying for a living. So maybe there's that. Maybe there's that.
There is no agency. We want what's best.
So now it's a little weird, right? That the internal motivation within me is more toward the in-game narrative, and that's because it's entirely attached to the process of maintaining the belief that what was presented to me as a persistent universe could be made, might continue to persist, especially if I devote my time, attention, and potential to it. And the storyline I'm running there, I just like so much. I can see it being turning into something that you guys, people would pay to read about, and then I could be the author I always thought I was. Yada. All these forks of possibility lean as incentive to spending my time, attention, and potential on that, rather than this other wonderful video game we're playing called The Broken Clock Tower. It's an online integrated participatory experience where as our society's technological prowess has advanced, we now have a means of production, as our good friend Karl Marx used to say. And I'm watching this whole thing right now. This whole thing, I'm watching it. Yes, we are. This one.
Chan publicly in a context like this, in some kind of studious or serious context, violates the ethos of 4chan. You know, who am I?
He served podcast with my daughter, Michaela Peterson, twice. I think that's an admirable moral principle.
What you are saying, to be the opposite of Kathy Newman in this context, is accurate in that a lot of powerful people are there through inertia, are there through nepotism, are there through corporate memes because they play the game.
Hail Hydra.
There is this elite contempt, and to some degree it was associated with the political class, but on further analysis, it's not the political class, right. It's the chattering literati, the chattering educated literati, and I actually happen to think that that's the case. That
are we taking this agitprop at face value instead of mocking it, clowning it, and basically rendering the tool impotent? These are not kind, caring people who care about your grandma in your neighborhood. These are power-hungry sociopaths who will smile at your face and do whatever they need to when the lights are off.
I suppose.
Any of these calls of unity, in my view, are always sleight of hand to marginalize or oppress a certain population.
There isn't anything more powerful to fight that than spoken truth.
I agree.
Because that's quite a radical statement, I would say. But I think it does speak to this T-shirt that I mentioned earlier.
Hail Hydra!
Yeah. If you disagree with me, there is some possibility that you know something I don't. And if you disagree, I could learn something from you. Can we create a narrative and string along legacy media types? Does this new technological platform have enough power to bend and twist what has been the standard means of delivering the cultural narrative for decades?
Organized goal-seeking minority is going to be able to punch very much above its weight in terms of getting the achievements it wants.
It only works well when the actual orientation is love. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more.
And humor.
Well,
because they're using,
it's very rare. Go ahead, talk about humor.
Because I do think you're a bad actor. I think it's the mindset, and I don't think that mindset's at all irrational. That was that ethos brought to life.
There's a part of me that thinks, Jesus Christ, don't you have anything better to do? But there's also a part of me that thinks, well, wait a second, there's something really complicated going on here that has to do with the redistribution of power and also the acquisition of a voice by people who are individuals and not part of a corporate group, let's say, but who have access to tremendous technological power, and they're serving the function of jesters, and they're serving the function of comedians. And wait a second, there's something really complicated going on here that has to do with the redistribution of power. Thinks, well, wait a second, there's something really complicated going on here that has to do with the redistribution of power and also the acquisition of a voice by people who are individuals and not part of a corporate group, let's say, but who have access to tremendous technological power, and they're serving the function of jesters, and they're serving the function of comedians. And I think comedians in particular are the canaries in the coal mine for a free culture. As soon as the comedians are threatened, you know something's, as soon as the comedians are nervous, you know something's up. Because
Hail Hydra! Hail Hydra!
Anonymous, decentralized, and evanescent.
Where what by your
That's enough. That's enough. Hail lobster. No, don't. If you haven't figured it out by now, the Pied Piper thing, right? I don't know. I saw on Twitter today that apparently the lady that broke the story about the laptop from, which is much smaller than Wiener's laptop. Welcome. Anyway, the lady who broke that story was apparently doing some congressional testimony today, and how 2 years later everybody's confirmed the validity of it, and it doesn't matter now because it's 2 years later. And this, as a truther fella, you get little chunks that you hold on to for reasons in the past that keep floating up in the future. And in this particular case is always of what was known as the Hillary emails. I saw what was attributed to that collection as one of her approving the coverage of Donald Trump, to like giving the green lights to the corporate press media to give him the coverage, not like they were ignoring him like they did Bernie, and then she gave him the go-ahead, and in the go-ahead she gave, she referenced him as the Pied Piper Covefe. No, there wasn't a Covefe, that was an insert. She referenced him as the Pied Piper, and then this guy puts on the frog hat, and here still we are. I want the frog hat. I want it. I don't want it off his head. Someone else deserves the frog hat, and it's not right. It's not right.
I'm attacking the darkness.
What do you think the difference is between ego and personality? Like, now that we're remystifying the world, I'd really like it for this little corner to take a stance, or at least take a look at channeling and channeled materials. And it's there's a lot we dismiss, and then a lot we embrace, and maybe they're for target demographic reasons. But this whole phenomena, like, I'm a big fan of what came out in the raw material, but before that, and or adjacent to it, was the Seth books, and he was big on being a personality that had persisted. And we know that the ego functions as the thing that puts on the persona, essentially, and or is it? How does the ego function? Tell me in the comments, because I know you watch this replay. That gets you a +5 for next stream. What I wanted to do with you guys is show you. Okay, so now, like, theoretically, the channel has survived monetization, right? My fellow Shadow Cabal, especially those of you that have gone deep enough in to get an official Goose hoodie with him on the back, not the fancy one from the new StreamYard store. But so, if in an ideal situation where the trust fund were not what I was living on, and being all the time, or if it were more robust or agency supported by some foundation of widows that's been established for the corner, milking somebody and not helping other people, and I still haven't paid them back for the campground. It's fair. I heard a bumping tonight.
Your performance, you're turning a third party by exploiting their weaknesses into an unwitting performer on their own.
You know, you need a bit of it, but you can't have too much of it.
The networks have to assume that everybody watching has no memory and no education and no attention span, because the bandwidth requirements demand that. And now that's all gone. That's not an insult, by the way.
Sure.
It was, in some sense, you're documenting
But it does raise a question here. Like, first of all, how many of you know what I mean when I say 15 million merits? And I ask the question of myself, how much of this is me doing that? Right? And that I haven't even seen what they have planned for you with the new season of Black Mirror yet, is something I thought we might go into on the Discord, which I'm trying to get to. We're the situation elsewise, and this monetary stream now that is getting the 30% chunk YouTube version, which still magically does way better than the Ko-fi links, where the poor fella gets the better cut. Like, now that there are distinct revenue streams, what I would intend to do, or if things manifest the direction with which I am aiming them in the YouTube video and this YouTube Discord community video game. Show the Discord. Show the Discord. Show the porch where people will land if they click the join link. Look, it was Bart sneaking back in. We saw last. Let's see, can we make it big enough that the side stuff goes away? I don't know. But the point is what we have going on here is the system down in the reaping room, especially. We'll use this. We'll use this morning's example walkthrough. I was going through the town square, which is the part on the Discord where if you're not me, you're supposed to put your own product. Like, hey, I did this. Look at me. That's the town square section of the Discord here. And the look at me section, Gavin, Chad, and Mitch did their back and forth. But Gavin's tagging Machu Picchu, who's a member who we like on Twitter, about the psychologist Daniel Simons. And so I immediately went down to our gamified scavenger bounty board and was like, hey, yo, I'll give 3 7 indigos per clip for that request. And he came up with these 3.
And what we had was a video in which people were passing basketballs. So 3 people were wearing white shirts and they were passing a ball. And your task when you were watching the video was just to count how many times those 3 players passed the ball. We also had 3 players wearing black shirts passing their own ball, and you were supposed to ignore their passes.
So as you can see, what we really have here is what has been in my mind. What is it? It's not the Paper Street Soap Company. It's the Soap Street Paper Company. Where we now have enough to make a clip collage referencing anytime anybody references this Simons guy or whatever, we have a distillate. We can say this and back up each other in the meme wars and the cultural and hey, look, we got something new. No, Bart's was the last new. Man, Bart, if I had known, see, this whole LARP Bart did is coming in as Nathaniel J. DeFranco over here in the chat. This guy, this whole thing he did, I thought he was somebody else, and I was so much more encouraged by this rando that I did not know showing up in the hive mind. Now that I've come to know it was just Bart, it was such a demoralizing fall. Remember, everybody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you. You gotta wonder if anything ever sticks, right? So for +5. Oh wait, go to where you were going. Okay, so we have this gamified scavenger bounty board, right? And Ups nailed it with those 3. So he earned whatever these 3. I gotta go. I can only give him 1, so I need people to come in and reinforce the bounty rewards. But now that this monetary stream is in place, what I would like to ideally do is direct it directly into the participatory nature of the Broken Clock Tower Discord, where basically every time you get a 7 indigo, it's like you get a share in the pulse of income from. It'll happen like once a month. It'll go down to whoever's like activated their 7 indigos on the Discord for that month, and that way, like, we can get the Guatemalans to see the profit margin and send their people in and actually get all sorts of labor production and expand the empire to the point in the LARP ingression is number 6. Yes, here, where it's not just me as the general way up at the top, but there's all sorts of this in-between layer with the lieutenant generals and the colonels and the first lieutenants and maybe even a quartermaster sergeant or something. We got these. This is all part of my the visualized process of my gamified flying a ship in a flotilla on an ocean of information of people who are like trapped in their cells within cells, but dreadfully distinct against the dark. And but still, though, for me, the pull to go play the video game and save it, try to save it by being the story in it that brings other players back who have their grandchildren have their grandpa's video game experience and be like, oh, I could code that up in 3 days. And then those turn into development teams that are funded through the in-game and people. All of that thing is like got such a greater pull on me than this loving thing, especially when I check the stars and only the ups loves me and shows me that this system still works. What, do you guys like the pity ploy? Hey, hard. See, that's the thing, man. You see, there's this section in the Broken Clock Tower Discord called the Reaper's Hall. Hey, are you showing it? No, show him. There's the Reaper's Hall, right? Where we do all the clip works, but and the fancy character clips where you can show clips of your favorite people being emotional and drop them in there so everybody can see them. But down here in the Resonance Hall, there's this part called the Social Memory Complex, where theoretically, if everybody participated, you could go back and learn who Bart was by these sorts of references. Right now, I'd have to go to this-little-corner.com and search key terms like go fuck off. And is this just a GIF? This is just a GIF. You son of a...
But Grim Grizz has he really embodied it? Have you really embodied it, Grim? See, Grim is sort of on the outside. Says Grim is a fringe character, and this is part of Grim's ethos in his videos, that he's not using this beautiful Sony camera like I am. He's not using this fast Sigma lens. He doesn't have this moderately priced Yeti Blue mic. He's in and out and virtually not alone, and he's leaving. If you think the rough edges are in my video, his rough edges are even more. And so he's signaling fringeness, but all of the little things, the LARPing, remember, embody, you have no agency. We want.
Whoa! Saving throw against Pastor Paul's Freudian slip. Everybody, survival, self, social, heart, wisdom, choose. Survivalist, 17 against Pastor Paul. Selfish, sons of 5 for you. For you hard folks, solid 15. 15 wisdom kids. Wait, we missed the social guys. We got too many now. You got to kill the self again. 5 for the socialists, 7 for the wisdom kids, and 7 for the indigo folk. Oh, Pastor Paul. We got another, 10 seconds?
It's what's best for you. I mean, Grim has all this stuff in there. That's why his channel is so good.
I thought it was because the light of the Lord and Creator, the image I bear, shines through this rough, shoddy exterior and to the light of the lonely and the generous of heart and donation. That's what I thought, but
Like you give people propofol, you take them out of consciousness.
No.
Remember, embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you.
I'm General Griswold Gaius Grimm of the 1st LARP Ingression Protocol, and I work for the agency. Out of character table talk stream leaked. I've heard to the public. If you're watching this and you're not part of the Shadow Cabal, you should feel very, very, very naughty. Now, that dialogue about all the things we're doing on the Discord with the 7 Indigos, I say to you, is while it's not that yet, while it's not, we're not in the position where the income revenues have flowed in such that I can dedicate the YouTube 70% stream into reinforcing the Discord community by distributing the 7 Indigos to like the pulse of the finances going through those to anybody who plays. While we're not there yet, if you could LARP that we are, when we start to add the Discord bots to do the counting of the Indigos and how that works and who it actually goes to, then we're working on a model of what it actually looks like, not one that people don't understand and don't participate in. And so please back me up on payments and the scavenger board with your endorsements. It's going to work essentially like everybody gets so many, and then if people give you one, you also get one to give back. It's in the head. It can be on paper if investors need it to be. But meanwhile, please just LARP like it's real, particularly in the clip stream in the Reaper's Hall, where I have to decide what makes the Reaper's Harvest for those Reaper's Harvest episodes. And when you're doing those, remember that's the purpose of those streams, and there are guidelines toward they'll kill the channel and monetization if you don't clips of that, right? And we don't do music in there for that reason. And if you put music in there and I deleted it, that's why. This is too much insider baseball? No, because this is an out of character table talk stream. For those of you who do have anybody addicted to video games still, please send them to Jump Gates for reasons. I'm going to be doing a noob class for the Soul Rain on Sunday. If they're Oct or Quant, they're going to have to figure out how to fly over there. It's great. I teach biomass extraction, and it is a cool orange dye. You want to know the story, Jasmine, behind the cool orange dye? And what happened was, I'm sure you guys caught the IRL live stream where I walked to the store. In the store, which was a vast disappointment with like hardly any actual RPG stuff, yet they do perform like actual gaming in the back 3 nights a week. But anyway, the dice selection was quite limited, and I asked the man for an orange 20, and he had none. And yet my further shopping for this beautiful green set that I'll be needing, because I had no 4. I got the green set from which we have extracted the new heart die, which rolled on the floor because Chad showed up. Howdy, Chad. Chad, you got an 8. An 8 for your heart, Chad. I'm sure you picked it. That's what you got. Okay. But so we're in the store, and I'm picking out this other green set, which came with the... Where's my orange guy? Little orange guy with the mace. Oh, yeah, he's sacred now. He's over here. This fella, I'll probably auction him in desperation on eBay at some point. Follow me there. While I was shopping for that, this guy comes out of the back and he said, I heard you were looking for an orange 20. And he presented me two. And I chose the prettier one. And then after I chose the prettier one, he tells me the story of this one, how it's like from some original set or who'da thunk it. It's like old school and you should love it. And I said, well, if that's the better one, I'll take that. And because it's the self-die. It's the self-die. And that was pretty cool. Thanks for asking about it there, Jasmine. Guard says, I'm looking for a flight shtick before I play more jump gate to start practicing. Well, I'll tell you. The only one I find suitable for my combat is this broken-ass Force Feedback 2, which I hope to someday get a better one off of eBay because they're out of production. However, there's a level of the game where you fly freighters around. And in that one, it's really nice to have the throttle stick on the side also, the second hootenanny. We'll get into that probably on the After Dark channel. I don't know how much anybody wants any of that over here. We did that one. We need more. I like this one a lot.
There is no agency. We want what's best.
Well, for those of you who aren't members only, I hope I filled the homeroom hole. Don't forget to get a Rascal sports bra. I just want to sell one. Just one Rascal sports bra. Come on. And then we'll stop. If that Paul Rene Nichols isn't already sporting a Denim Horse Denny hat, just means he's all talk, as far as I can tell, and he's a lot of it. What? We did that one. Do this one. Do this one.
I believe that if everyone sees what just a few people become when they wholly embrace their gifts, others will awaken.